Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CLSR. And I'm your host, the counselor. And today we're going to be talking about those promises that you made, the promises that you never stick to. They're called the New Year's resolutions. And I know many of you have made them and you continuously make them, but how many of you are sticking to them? I'd have to estimate that approximately 95% of people do not stick to the New Year's resolutions. I mean, it's just something that they do. The New Year turns over, and what do? Shortly thereafter, they forget about their New Year's resolutions. But I'm going to tell you, we need to talk about how do we stick to them when we set them? What do we do? You know, when you are creating your New Year's resolutions, there's certain things you need to have in mind. I mean, if you really want to make some change, you have to remember that there are steps that you need to take. Now let's think about New Year's resolutions are goals or promises that people make during the New Year holiday to try to make their upcoming year better in some way. If you find it difficult to keep your resolutions, you may be helped by listening in to this podcast today because I'm here to help. I want you to accomplish your goals. I want you to let this 2021 be fun, accomplishable goals. I don't want you to just say it for the sake of saying it. I want you to actually do something. So when you're thinking of creating these New Year's resolutions, and where do you begin? Well, first you got to brainstorm about some changes and improvements you'd like to make. These can be about anything, not just the big ones like quitting smoking or losing weight that many people associate with New Year's resolutions. Like that's what a lot of people do, but they rarely stick to it. However, I want you to jot down some notes while you are considering how you can improve your health. Ask yourself, can I drink more water? Can I quit smoking? Stop eating fast food or fried food? Become vegetarian? Exercise more? We all talk about exercising more. However, once you start to exercise, then you start to eat those sweets, then it's counterproductive, right? Consider your relationships with others. Are there ways that you can be a better spouse, parent, or family member or friend? Consider your work life. Ask yourself, can I be more successful and happier at work? Be more organized? Stop procrastinating? Consider ways, and I do want you to consider ways to make a difference. Are there ways you can make a difference in the world through activism, awareness, promoting a cause? You can do something. I believe we all have a purpose. You're not just here to be here. You have some purpose to serve, to help others, to help yourself, to help society. See, choose one or two attainable larger goals. Look over your notes and determine what items on it are most important to you. Don't make too long a list. Often it's the things that leap out at you straight away that have the most meaning for you personally. Create systems. Systems are the ways that you can carry out a larger goal. You need to break down larger goals into smaller actions that can be easier to carry out. You leave your larger goals too vague, you may get confused and change your mind frequently on the ways to accomplish them. This is the purpose of creating systems. Like if your goal is to lose 30 pounds in the following year, you can resolve to cut out fast food, soft drinks, sugary snacks and drinks, drink more water, and walk 3 days a week until March, and then gradually add in 2 days at the gym. Too many of you trying to do too much, too often, too fast, too quick, and you don't get too far. So you need to understand there is a system that needs to be adhered to. Now, what I like to call it is the SMART goals. I want you to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and trackable. Look at your list and reflect using this SMART goal. Make sure your goals are very specific. This means your goals include systems for achieving them. You have specific actions that can be carried out that work towards your larger goal. I also want you to remember measurable. This means that The changes you see once the goal is reached is noticeable. You will feel different, better, because you are healthier, because your family or social life has improved. There are signs that things are changing for the better. Also, make sure it's attainable, people. I can't even tell you how many people are setting goals that they're not attainable. They're not even realistic. But oh, I want to do this. I want to make $1 million. Don't even have no way to get it there, but you're sitting up there telling everybody, and you know everybody that's listening to you is saying, "What kind of fool do we have here?" So make sure your goal is attainable. This means that the goal is realistic and can be reached. There are benefits to aiming high, but you don't want to aim so high that you become disappointed and discouraged from making any changes at all. If you can't reach the goal you set, you become very discouraged. Like, I can't even tell you. If you've never run a day in your life, don't make running a marathon your goal quite yet. Perhaps start with shorter races like a 3K or a 5K, or work up from there. Too many of you up there trying to be Superman or Superwoman, trying to get something done which is almost next to impossible because you thought you could do it, but you didn't attack it slowly. You had no system. You didn't have any SMART goals, obligations, and commitments. And you also have to make sure it's relevant, or shall I say, kind of rewarding. This means that there is a real need for your goal. You have been unsatisfied with a certain area in your life for some time, and you have a strong motivation to want to change it. Make sure it's trackable. Don't just set it, start doing it. Track it, right? It could take you a while, but track it. Make it trackable. This is similar to measurable, but means that you can assess your progress throughout the process. Have you made a schedule? Are you following it? Are you losing weight gradually? If that's your goal, are you getting along better with your loved ones? Make sure it's trackable. Don't just say it and start doing it and you don't know what the results is. It's useless to do it that way. Okay? And I want you to do something. I want you to talk to others about your goals. Discuss your goals and why you made them with your family and friends. It's very, very important. I want you to ask for others. Ask them for support on these goals throughout the year. If possible, team up and visit the gym or shop at the health food store together. Ask them to speak up if you slip, or order a Diet Coke instead of a water, or forget another goal on your list. This will help. People who tell others about their goals are more likely to accomplish them, whether it's because they have extra support they need or because they're afraid of being embarrassed if they don't accomplish them. It's hard to say, but people tell people. And once you tell, you almost have a commitment. It's like you're obligated to do it. You don't want to disappoint others, and you don't definitely want to disappoint yourself. So I'm telling you, it's good to communicate your goal. I'm not talking about bragging. Be sincere. Look, I might need some support in this area. This is what I plan to do. I'd like to go shopping. If you'd like to go on Saturday with me to the health food store, that'd be wonderful, right? And I want you to print out copies of your resolutions. Save a copy on each computer or electronic device that you own, such as your cell phone and tablet. Email a copy to your work address and save it to your work computer. Make a smaller copy and keep it in your wallet or your purse. Post a copy on the outside of your refrigerator, right? This refrigerator is going to show you something. Use bright paper so it catches your eye, and don't let it get hidden behind coupons and artwork. You want to see it, right? I told you, posting it, it's like training the brain. A lot of you think that the brain's not picking up. That brain's picking up details and information even when you sleep. It depends if you can give it messages, but you can give it the visual or the audio. Do you understand? So you got to remember, you got to train the brain. But I want you to print up these copies. I want you to have them where you could see them. All right? This is going to reinforce the message that you are actually working on achieving these goals. And without even noticing, okay, this will become a natural routine, a natural practice. Practice, 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 practice. You know, when people say practice makes perfect, it really does, but a lot of you can't practice because you got the attention span, right, of a mouse. And the reason why is because you're going from here to here to here. You ain't focused on one thing. You're focusing on 100 things. Okay? And that's the problem. Focus on one thing at a time. Make sure you're achieving it. All right? And use your SMART goals. Now, when you start your resolutions, you have to create a schedule. I know this sounds like work, but too bad. This is what it is. It is work. It's work for you to do. If you want it to work, you got to put in work. You understand? Did you hear what the counselor said? If you want it to work, you got to put in work. A lot of people don't want to work. Too bad. That's why you don't get nowhere in life, because you're too busy expecting things to come to you. Get off your duff and get to the good stuff. All right? Create a schedule. Even more important than a specific deadline for your goals is to set a schedule of how you will reach the goal. Some goals are actually lifelong changes that you will continue after the goal is reached, right? Like, even if you change from eating meat to vegetables, that could be lifelong. It could be good for your health, great for your health. It might be the change that you need. Like, for instance, systems for weight loss and for improving your relationship don't necessarily end once you've reached the goal. To keep weight off, you have to maintain the healthier lifestyle system that you created. To maintain healthy relationships, you would want to continue the things you started doing in your resolutions. So you must consider, if the goal is losing weight, be sure that you have researched a healthy amount of time to lose a certain amount of weight, and write down your exercise schedule and the changes you will make in your diet for each day. If you're trying to be a better parent or friend or be more successful at work, make a schedule and when and how you will do each thing that's on your system, right? You got to have a system, all right? I'm telling you, put it together. Start following your plan immediately. Don't wait for inspiration to strike. The best thing to do is start on January 1st. Well, January 1st, all right, is gone. But you can start now and start tracking your progress. If your goal is to lose weight, don't say, I'll start tomorrow. Start right away. Starting may actually be the toughest part. But once you get into a routine, it should become much more easier. And this is where a lot of people fight it. They do. They fight that accountability. You got to create that accountability. Set up dates for evaluation with a mentor. This helps you to stay focused and evaluates methods for improvement. It's even better if you find someone who has the same resolution. If you have a friend who's also trying to lose weight, check in with each other and motivate each other. It may also help to consult with your doctor or a trainer about your progress. Like, if you love to go swimming for that exercise, plan it with a friend. Say, hey, we're going to meet up here on Wednesday after work, go swimming for an hour. It's great. It also improves your communication with your fellow being. Do you understand? So there's a lot of things that are going to be accomplished by being disciplined, right? You have to be disciplined, right? But make sure when you are going to do some weight loss, you are consulting professionals, and remind yourself about your goals. For every day on your calendar or your schedule, write down what you will do for that day, what time you will do it, and don't forget to actually do it no matter how busy you are. Don't give me no excuses. Don't tell me, oh, I had this to do and that to do. No, you get priority. If you really want to make this change, it has to be priority. Like, we're pushing ourselves away because, oh, we got this to do, that to. We will always have things to do until the day we are 6 feet under. But this commitment, I want you to stick with. If your goal is losing weight, write down what you will eat and when and how you will exercise each week. Don't just put it in your mind, oh, I'm going to get vegetables on that. Nah. Write it down. What specifically you're going to eat. This is a system. If you want it to work, write it down. Focus on the process rather than the end goal. Take each step one at a time and be happy with your progress. The only way you'll get to where you want to go is to complete every small step along the way, checking it off with pride as you accomplish each step. Remind yourself of the weight you are losing or how you are feeling healthier instead of the fact you haven't reached a certain number or lost pounds yet. You will eventually get there. I know when you look at that scale, you might go, man, I've been exercising all week, eating healthy. It don't seem like I lost a pound. So what do? You start going back into that regular routine. Well, like I said, it takes work. Initially, you might be a little bit frustrated, but you're going to have to get off that horse and start going, yes, I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to commit. This is what I'm here to do. All right? You got to work on yourself. And you got to remember it's going to take a little bit of time. Okay? So create your environment so that you will accomplish your goal. Think about it. If you're trying to lose weight, should you be going to the bar 4 or 5 times a week or even twice a week? Because you know alcohol has a lot of sugar, right? And chemicals in it. So it's not going to help you with your plan. Okay, so remember, it's also good to get rid of habits that don't coincide with your goals and may contribute to you being unable to reach them. Like, set your running shoes next to the door. Put fruits and vegetables in the front of the fridge. Get rid of the junk food and don't buy more. If something you regularly do for fun with family or friends includes eating out at places where most of the food is unhealthy, choose a different place that offers healthy meals, or don't eat out at all and do something else like go for a walk, right? Or ride a bike or go to the park with your healthy food. You know what I mean? And communicate and enjoy the weather, beautiful things like that. Maintain and accomplish these resolutions. Reward yourself. Did you hear what I just said? I said you are going to have to reward yourself. Determine ahead of time what rewards will be at small milestones of accomplishment. Have frequent small rewards and a grand prize for completion. If your goal is losing weight, you might buy new clothes to replace old ones that don't fit anymore at each milestone. And then plan a nice vacation for when you've reached your goal. I told you, it is. And remind yourself of your successes. It can be hard to maintain your motivation and dedication to making a change in your life when you can't see immediate results for your efforts. At each low point, have faith that persisting and being consistent in reaching your goal will pay off in the long run. If you're trying to lose weight and are struggling to keep up with your workouts, just think about how each minute you exercise burns fat and gets you closer to that goal. Face your fear. I really want you to face this fear because a lot of people have a lot of fear when it comes to change. So you're going to have to face it. Fearing change often stops us from achieving a goal. Making a goal sounds good at the time, but then the fear of change surfaces. To avoid this happening to you, realize that your excuses are a way of covering up a fear of change. Look beyond I can't and start substituting this with I can and I am. Identify your excuses for not going through with parts of your goal. By listing excuses, you can see them for what they are and move beyond the fear of change. Sidestep blaming other people or circumstances for not achieving your goals. If you take responsibility for achieving your goal, these external factors cannot sap your power to do what you said you are going to do. Now, you got to recognize your self-defeating behaviors as well. This is another barrier for a lot of people. Recognize them. Write down the things you do out of habit that distract you from what really matters. Then list things that you consider to be more positive and fulfilling behaviors and choices you want to make instead, right? This includes adjusting the habits mentioned in the previous step. Even if they were things you once enjoyed, if you are trying to lose weight and you eat out with family or friends as bonding time, either choose restaurants that offer healthy meals or decide to do something else fun together instead of eating out. Now, that's a good example, but there's also another one. How are you going to be balancing your commitment and your smart goals. Like, think about this. If you're sitting up there exercising and eating right, but then you want to sit in front of that television for 5, 6 hours a night, even 3 or 4 hours, you know when you sit there, you're munching, right, on something, and you're not even paying attention because your mind is paying attention to that media. What's coming through that boob tube? Do you understand? And what you got to know is that no, this can't be part of my schedule because it does not help me accomplish my goal. This is going to be a barrier for me. This is going to be problematic. But many of you fight it. Many of you don't want to get rid of that television or sit on that laptop for 5 or 6 hours. You can't do it. You say to yourself, because it's become such a habit. It's just what we do. We don't do anything else. But I'm going to tell you something right now. If you really want to change something in your life, turn off that social media. Turn it off. Turn off that TV for a week and just see how many things you accomplish. I'm going to tell you, you're going to have more energy. You're going to be even more positive. It's going to change your attitude for the better along the way. There are good things that could happen. Okay? Just make sure that you are doing these things that are good for you and you can take these barriers out of your way. Begin again if you slip up. You might slip up. A lot of us slip up. Everyone encounters occasional outside stressors and even events that take us out of focus of our goals. Use Monday as your day to regroup and start over if you slip and had a bad week completing your goals for any reason at all. See, the Monday campaigns is a group of non-profit health organizations that organize various healthy things to do on Mondays, such as Meatless Mondays, De-stress Mondays, or Move It Mondays. Don't be too hard on yourself if you slip and remind yourself of the progress you have made. Just start over on Monday. Monday could be a fun day. Okay? Now, lean on that support team if you have to. A lot of you aren't like that. Oh, I don't want to be a burden to anyone. I can do this all myself. I'm telling you right now, it's better when you have support systems in place. Whoever you've chosen to help you, be it family, friends, a life coach, therapist, or someone else, lean on them to support you through times of weakness when you need a booster to get back on track. Like if you're smoking cigarettes and your whole resolution is to stop smoking, right? And you're feeling moments of weakness, you're going to have to lean on those family members. Speak up. Oh, I feel like having a cigarette. Oh, no, you can do something. Let them be the positive encouragers in your life. However, remember, it's going to be really hard for you to beat them cigarettes if you got family members that are smoking around you and you're inhaling that smoke. Oh, that's going to be torture. That's going to really get to your brain. And that's going to make you act up. That's not going to make the situation easy at all. So don't expect to do this completely alone. Look for other people's advice, their ideas, and feedback to help you keep going. And I told you, I can't even emphasize journal enough. That's right. Keep a journal. Document at least one thing every single day in the following year for which you feel grateful, and one sentence for the progress you have made. When writing, consider what memorable moments can you draw from each day. In what ways did you grow today or find that your awareness shifted? Keep noting of this, and this will help you stay grounded and motivated with your goals. And make sure, like I said, people, that these goals are realistic, they're achievable resolutions, all right? And make sure you use your SMART goals, because this is going to help you. And I can't tell you how many times I've tried and I've had to keep going back, but you know what? You can't just try without methodology. You got to have a strategy, a system in place. You got to really mean it. You got to make this a priority, especially if you're not healthy. See, there's so many things that are out there on them shelves in them stores that are not good for us, that are not even natural. And just a little bit of change. There's so much coming through the media that has negativity in it. And just a little bit of change can help change your perspective. And what about the people? Maybe you want to be around more positive people. Maybe you're not feeling good because the people who are in your life are not influencing you in a way that you want, or the relationship is not good. Maybe You're not happy in your relationship and you need to make some changes. But however you do it, you have to make sure you have to put a system in place. Okay, if your New Year's resolution is to be more positive, you can't do the same old thing. You cannot go through this routine that you've had. You've got to change it up, switch it up, commit to it. All right. And if you're having issues in your life, you trying to figure them out yourself is not going to help you. So you're going to have to get some professional help. That is changing itself, like scheduling an appointment to see maybe a psychologist or a counselor, right? Or a therapist, at least once a week. Get some assistance. Like even if you have health problems and you need to increase your health, don't try to do it on your own. There are systems out there in place. They might cost a little bit of money, but they're worth it, especially if you commit to it. See, a lot of times we set appointments and 90% of us actually go to our appointments. See, if you set a doctor's appointment, you're going to get there. So instead of setting a doctor's appointment for your health that might be bad, set that doctor's appointment for something positive like weight loss, or you know what I mean, or just feeling good and learning strategies on how to cope with stress or anger management. See, these are things that are going to improve your attitude and your health, but you have to set a system in place. All right, and that is what we're talking about. Not just saying, oh, this is my New Year's resolution, and not following through. Actually doing it, putting this system in place. Now, we've had a really good talk, but it's just talk unless you do the walk. If you can't walk, don't do the talk. Do you understand? So, I'm telling you right now, has some good information for you. So if you really want to change, ask yourself one thing. How committed are you to change? Is this just going to be another 2021? Is this just going to be another thing that you say that you really don't mean? And remember, we're on the reset, people. We got the pandemic. So this is a great time for us all to reset our lives and make changes. You don't have to do major overhauls, just little things. Start with the little things, achieve them goals, and you will be surprised through time how you have actually changed for the better. Do you understand? Little things. Maybe if you have responsibilities, obligations that are just too much or overwhelming you, and you need to release some of that responsibility, you're going to make some change. You're going to set your goals down. You're going to write how you're going to adjust this to make it easier for you in your life, more manageable. All these things are accomplishable, but you need a system in place. Well, we've had some good conversation here, good information, and I want to say to all my listeners, I do appreciate you. And I think sharing this information with you is going to be helpful for many of you who follow through. But you got to be real with yourself. You got to ask yourself, how realistic am I to myself? Am I really committed? Even if you say one New Year's resolution, how committed are you? Do you really want change? Or are you just saying it? Do you really want to put this practice in play? Right? Watch what you say. Because what you say could just be words that come out your mouth, but they need to translate into action. So how real are you for 2021? All right, make the change, people. And above all else, I want you to be like the wise old bird and spread the word. All right, and I want you to take care of yourself. Whatever you do, take care of yourself. Don't go on no tangent and get down on yourself when you don't accomplish a goal. Don't do it to yourself. Take it one day at a time. Every day you wake up is a good day. You understand? Be happy. Learn that you can be happier. Or if you're happy now and you just need to make some small changes, do that. All right? If you need to make changes to make someone else happy, do that. If you need to make changes in your community, little things, do that. Okay? However, take care of yourself. Have a good one.